Hello, this is Arturelia Anime Room Reviews. I'm Arturo, and today I'll be reviewing I remember when Kill la Kill was announced to come on to Toonami back in 2015. A lot of people were just hyped about this anime. And I knew about it when I went to an anime convention the year before they announced it, and people just made a big deal out of it. So, I kind of knew what it was about, almost basically like fan service type stuff. So when it finally came to Toonami, I was like, well, I might as well give it a try. And when I watched the first episode, but I decided I might as well keep watching because I've already started. So what do I think about Kill la Kill when it aired on Toonami? And what do I think about it now? Well, today I'll be reviewing the most hyped anime. Let's go.
There it is. Honnoji Academy.
A girl by the name of Ryuko has transferred to Honnoji Academy to find part of her scissor blade and to find the person who murdered her father. She gets involved in this academy to try and beat everyone just to get answers from Sasuke Kiyun, who is the president of the school. The plot. It's stupid. I don't want to go into much detail about the whole plot. Let's just say it basically, like if you saw the promos, basically being half naked and shirts being like something to power yourself or something like that. And there's actually more things involved about these shirts as the story progresses, and I'm like, what the heck? I will say though, the voice acting was really good. I do believe the voice actors did a really good job of bringing these characters to life. The music, really good music. There were a lot of good music in this anime. The animation does look cartoony-ish, so some people may be like, eh, and other people may not mind it. But when it comes to its action scenes, really good. Except for the boob and butt shots. Characters, this is probably the only good thing I really cared about this show, and it had to do with some of the characters. The plot was dumb. The characters at least made things enjoyable when I sat down and watched it. You have the main character, Ryuko, a badass and just how she is. She is cool. She looks cool as well, like a punk. Sasuke Kiyun is also a character that everybody likes. She is also badass, and she basically just strikes fear into her enemies. But at first she was this type of character in the beginning, and then as you progress, then you get this side of her that you never expected. So yeah, it was a big twist by that point, and some people probably found it a little disappointing about her character, or some people just didn't mind. But also some cool, interesting characters is her group of characters. They are interesting. As for the villain, I did have this one issue about her. I mean, it basically was at the end. I mean, I will say she is probably the worst, spoiler, worst mother in this show. But the issue I mentioned was her goal, her big plot. And I'm thinking to myself by the end of it, it's like, well, why were you doing this? What would happen to you if you did this? I'm not going to give anything away, but it's like, why? Why? Besides that episode, there were some episodes that were actually kind of fun. At least one when they had to race up to the academy. I mean, that was pretty fun to watch. I mean, it had some fun here and there, but I can only say that the rest of the episodes are. Then you also have characters which are funny, serious, and even Ryuko's sailor uniform. Okay, my enjoyment. Well, when I was watching on Toonami, I only enjoyed, like I mentioned, I enjoyed the voice acting, the characters, the action scenes, and the music. But I believe this show is just overrated. I mean, even when it came to the fighting scenes that I liked, I had to bear the boob and butt shots. Like High School of the Dead. One episode also taught, even though you get everything, you kind of just change. Basically, for this episode of the family she's with, goes through this change of being poor, then pretty good, and then so wealthy that they just go off and do their thing without even bonding. So it kind of gave you that lesson. But the plot itself was just so stupid that I was like, oh my gosh. And I want to give this one thing away, that shirts are actually the big problem in this show. I remember when I was watching it on Toonami and remembering when SAO 2 was announced to be on Toonami. This one guy said Kill la Kill saved or helped Toonami. SAO 2 will ruin it or destroy it. And I was like, seriously? Yeah, I mean, SAO does have some problems. But Kill la Kill's whole thing, no. Okay, and just to let you know, because you may think I may sound like a hypocrite if I like High School of the Dead, which shows boobs and butt shots, but you gotta think of it this way. Think of like Game of Thrones. If you look past all the stuff they show in Game of Thrones and just enjoy the story, then the story is really good. It's the same thing with High School of the Dead. I look past all the boobs and butt shots that are stupid, but I focus on the story, and it's a really good story about teenage kids trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. But when I look past but if you look past Kill la Kill's boob and butt shots, everything's dumb about it. The plot has to do with that. So you can't really like compare looking past the butts and boob shots from High School of the Dead with Kill la Kill, because Kill la Kill is all about that. Just complete nonsense. Now, I did recently watch the OVA the night before I even did this review, and it continues on with what happened right after the last episode, and had more moments of the characters, which you would probably like, and what they did like right afterwards. And yeah, it still has some of that crazy stuff, maybe not as much as the boob and butt shots, but it's still
Ryuko Matoi.
Here.
Well, if you've been watching this review just to know how I felt about it, well, I've been giving it so much bashing already that you may think I'm going to give it a lower rating. Well, I would give it a lower rating than an 8. See, it was actually, I remember sending my review to Toonami Faithful. I gave it a middle. Well, even though it had a lot of certain good things about it, all the other dumb stuff just overshadowed most of it. So you know what? Yes, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's okay. It's not the best thing out there. It's not an anime I'm going to come back to again because, one, it's just what it's about is just so stupid. I mean, if you like this show, good for you. I'm glad you liked it. I know it made a lot of views on Toonami when it was on, which I was kind of surprised. I mean, to tell you the truth, I think Dragon Ball Z, the story plot, is actually better than Kill la Kill. Well, if you want something that has a little bit more of that animation type style, you could look at what My Little Witch Academy, or is it just Little Witch Academy? I don't remember the name. It's right here. If you want something with the word kill in it, I guess I could point to a comic got Kill, even though they are typically different types. If you want more fan service like this, I guess High School of the Dead, because that has a lot of that, but I think the story is really, really, really good. Then Kill la Kill's plot. Well, this is Arturelia Anime Room Reviews signing off.